Welcome to Bahati, talking about real issues that are affecting you as an individual. Insights about financial and personal growth, plus better relationships. And now, Bahati.
So the world is chaotic and so many things are happening at a very terrific speed. But again, when you look critically, there's so many things that are happening in the world of love that make people go berserk, lose trust, and even go mad and be depressed. But again, we are here to be able to dissect into these issues, the news stories that we see trending online, on social media. We talk about them, we leave them pending, but again, who has the responsibility to dig through those issues, dissect and provide the solutions that are so much needed in this generation? So that is why we are here with the big W's, the why, the where, the when, the, what's happening, so that we can be able to get to the root cause, know what to do, when to do it, and how to have a normal, sober, enjoyable, happy life. I believe that we all deserve it. So today we talk about proposals, and this issue of proposals gets people, some people are getting goosebumps, okay? Even the old, they're like, the things I have seen, love has changed. And the young, are very mistrusting. Right now they're looking at me with side eyes, and they're saying, these issues of love. I go slow. Some of you already packed. Some of you have told me, I packed my car of love and I am never driving it again. So I know we are dealing with so many things, but let's hear this out. Let's come to the solutions and let's dissect these issues. So today with me to provide the solutions, I have Amanya at Haire from Rock Telecom. Yes. And Rock Telecom is a Ugandan-owned and Ugandan-based internet service provider. Personal use, organizational use, call it. They'll give you the best. We're not talking about that, though Amanya will talk about that at some point. And then we have Rita. Rita, good to have you.
Me too.
Yes, Rita comes, when someone talks about a salon and spa, that is Eternal Styling Studio. They have a salon and spa. And it's a very beautiful place on the hill of Buziga. So if you are that side, by the way, if it's something good, you don't have to be within the vicinity. You can travel from wherever to go to something good. It's always a magnet. Yes. So that's a beautiful place there. And so we are here to provide solutions. And so glad to have you. And I can't wait to hear your perspective about proposals. But I want to first know, when you hear a word proposal right now, what goes through your mind?
It's a good feeling.
It's a good feeling.
Yes.
You are a normal lady. You are a normal lady. Yes. Any lady will be, oh my God. Yes. You know how they even pretend to be crying?
Yeah, I know. Yes, it's a good feeling. You get excited. You're like, finally.
Yeah.
I've been waiting all along. And I think it's every girl's dream.
I've been chosen.
I have been chosen amongst the many.
Okay.
Because it's a girl's dream. I think it's every girl's dream at the end of the day.
And from the men? When you hear proposal, what goes through your mind?
Proposal. One would say that it is something originated or adopted from the Bazungu out there. And
so you're one of the traditional men.
I think a proposal is just a confirmation or an affirmation of what has been going on.
Okay.
Or like a climax of, what you have been doing together.
Getting into another level and you're saying, okay,
because
this is the end.
When it reaches the point of a proposal, some of these things are a little obvious, but you see, like Rita said, girls get excited. It's like Valentine's Day.
So you don't want
send
girls
flowers.
To get excited?
Oh, I love the excitement. Like Valentine's Day, you send flowers, you send chocolates, you send to affirm something that you probably tell your somebody every day.
Every day, yes.
But, to show it in a different way.
So, but that's where the disappointment comes in, because you've been living this life and maybe in love, and this is a day of affirmation. So when you hear the word proposal these days, everyone is thinking about the rejections, the rampant rejections that have been happening, especially trending on social media. So if it's an affirmation of something that has already been happening, where are we going wrong? Because then there must be something wrong.
Yes.
That by the time the climax comes, it's actually not a climax. It's saying, wait a minute, we were on two different journeys. So this is you and this is me.
Yes.
And that people walk away. So where are we going wrong?
Well, if I could just jump in there. I think for starters, it's important to appreciate whether we're on the same page. Because you might be at proposal level in your heart,
And the other
but your person is
just
not
starting.
yet there. So you need to see the signs and symptoms. I know there is this group of men or people that have been trained to believe that a woman's no is a yes and her yes is a yes. So, you know, some people believe that if you insist and insist, the no turns into a yes.
Eventually.
Yeah, but I believe in appreciating the signs and symptoms, but importantly, the verbal communication to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Or even
right before the proposal,
Yes.
the public, because it's been happening in public. Because if these proposals were happening in people's bedrooms, we would never have had or seen the rejections. No one would be loitering with a camera somewhere to take these rejections.
But also, social media has made things that could have been done privately become our business.
But I think that's a personal choice.
Yeah,
you
that's-
can even
that's
stay
true.
in this right now, in this generation. You can decide and say, I'm going to propose in my bedroom. I'm going to propose in my sitting room. So not because you fear to be rejected publicly, but because this is sacred to you and it is important to you, and it's not something that you want to go shouting up on the mountain to the world that, hey, look here, I am proposing. It's like you want to prove a point to someone.
Yes.
I'm not saying that whoever proposes publicly, please don't get me wrong, that you're trying to make a point. Some people are looking for content.
Yes.
Of
Rita,
course.
where are we going wrong?
I think that first and foremost, we have poor or inadequate communication. We do not tell our partners our expectations. We assume that they know. Then two,
So let's dissect. Let's look at this critically, because I want to be able to put both of you on hot seats. Because if you say the lack of communication,
yes,
that's from the man's side. He has shown you that he loves you.
yes,
From the girl's side, so where is the communication coming in?
because one, this could be a relationship that is rocky. You do not feel comfortable in that relationship.
One party.
One
It's
party.
always one party that is not
Yes.
feeling comfortable.
No. Okay, yes. No, by the way, both parties might not be comfortable. For example, like I said, if it's a rocky relationship, there are issues. So this man may be trying to save this relationship. So in trying to save the
With a ring.
relationship with a ring, he's bringing the ring on board. Yeah, because maybe there are certain attributes about you that he likes and there are other things that he doesn't appreciate. But when he weighs, he puts you on a weighing scale, he feels that he needs you more than he
To
doesn't.
hold on to the good ones.
Yes, than he doesn't need you. So at the end of the day, what happens? He's going to propose so he can maybe try to save this relationship. Then secondly, expectations. We do not communicate our expectations. If you realize it, there's a lot going on in the world, especially in Africa, per se. No disrespect meant, but we have this issue where girls are in a relationship, beggamye. They are waiting for the next best
thing.
option or the next best thing.
They have
So
gotten
if you are
under
in that state,
But you will know, as a man, you will know that this one is here, short-lived. They don't want to get into the rain, so they are using me to get to the next best
Hilda,
thing.
it depends on how bad you want to be out of the rain. You've
But
had
also
issues.
the element of a woman's no is a yes that I said
It
comes
keeps
into
them
play.
with hope.
Yeah.
And you know, for a man, it's all about a little glimmer of hope. When I send you a text and you respond, I'm like, there is light there.
Okay, but do you know that
But if you don't respond, you don't call, I'm like,
a person using
maybe
you will
she's busy.
respond? Because when a
Yes.
person uses you for something, They know that they are using you.
Yes.
Of course, they have a
But
level
they
of
know that they have
reciprocation.
something to gain in the current moment.
Yes.
So they will keep hooking you
Yes.
so that they can still get the services that you're giving them.
Yes.
If it's the money, you're taking them out, you're giving them, a flamboyant kind of life. So they'll be like, you know what? There's no one to give me this. He is here. I'll respond to his text messages. Girls these days, they will even sleep with you.
Yes.
I mean, they will even come and cook for
They will
you.
even have a child with you.
But again, there will be a slip of a tongue somewhere. Somewhere
Yes.
to show you. For example, when they eye someone, when you go out,
Yes.
half the time the eyes are darting around
Back and
to
forth.
see whether the next best thing is within the vicinity.
Yes.
Those are the kind of ladies that you go to the washroom and they will write their number on the serviette and give it to the girl serving
Yes.
them,
Yes.
or pass it on to another person. So at the back of your mind, something, your intuition will be warning you
Yes.
that, you know what? And most of these guys that we're talking about, that Amanya is talking about, are bracketed as the nice guys.
Yes.
They are the good guys,
They are the good
They are not
guys
the
who
bad
get
boys.
hurt. Yes.
People like me. You're talking about people like me.
Amanya, you're a good guy.
Oh, yes.
I know.
There are
Amanya,
signs
you look,
everywhere.
No. You look like a good guy gone wrong.
No.
You look like a good guy, Alabuka. Like
There's like you said, they will use you, or they can mean to use you. They do all the things. Maybe there's even they sleep over times. They
Yes.
probably even go for birthdays
Yes.
here and there. But there are commitment situations that come in there that when you propose them, either she pulls back a bit or doesn't respond. There will always be something that
talk
can
about
be a
marriage. They'll be like,
telltale
but
sign.
they're always talking about marriage because they're not looking to commit.
Exactly.
Yes.
If you're talking about going to see your mom, either they will get sick or something like that. They're like, I don't want to go that far. And then I have to break the news to them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And half the time, Barbie, they even have mercy on these nice guys. They're like, oh no, I don't want to be introduced to the family. And then after that, things don't work. So they keep away. Whenever there is a family gathering, they always have something. So at the back of your mind, for the nice guys, they are slow readers.
Yes.
So they will think, okay, maybe she's busy, genuinely busy. Maybe she just doesn't want to come. But because she provides a certain level of comfort, you will hold on to the comfort and
Yes.
forget all the bad things.
Yeah, and of course, on behalf of the nice guys, we always
We should
Find
find
an-
the Nice Guys Association.
yes,
You're the president.
we always find a reason to justify the actions that she has done.
Exactly.
For example, I called you.
But
you
indeed, Amanya,
didn't
you're a
pick.
nice guy because you know these things.
Yeah, and they are not from any movie or some books.
You'll always find a reason. You
Yeah,
even
you
give the
always
reasons
find a
on their
reason to
behalf.
justify her actions. You try looking for her, you reach out to her, you call her, you text her, she doesn't respond. You're like, I know on Thursdays she's normally, say, in Zumba or something. You're like, yeah, maybe she's busy.
Yeah.
And then when she calls you back after like 2-3 days,
Ooh, you're excited.
that goes away.
Yeah.
You get excited. You start from the start again. And she tells you, oh, sorry, my battery ran low. 2 days the battery was low.
And those girls have a way of being witty. I think this is the attraction syndrome. We attract the exact opposite
of who we are.
Most of the times they are very witty. Like
Yes.
they can get away with anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have their way with words, how they will touch you or how they will call you, and it will melt away everything, all the complaints that you had, and everything will be good. Even when they are not with you or active with you, I don't know how to cover it well. Let me say for 3 months, and maybe they do it once in a month because they are just throwing breadcrumbs for you to
Yes.
survive.
Yes.
They don't want to give you food, real food. They're throwing breadcrumbs for you to survive and keep following them so that they can still get the benefits here and while they look out for another thing. So if they're not with you intimately for 3 months and they do it once, that once that they will do it will erase all the 3 months
other.
that they have
Yes.
not done
Yes.
it.
Yes.
And you will always, even brag about it. You feel like you've won a trophy.
Yeah, you feel, this is my person.
They look like a trophy.
This is my person, there's no doubt.
I know.
You erase any doubts you had in your mind and you're like, if she was not my person, she wouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have said this. Shouldn't you even revise the messages?
And you read the affirmations.
If possible, even, I don't know, you would probably highlight them and, I don't know, something.
Yes,
This
just
is, by the way,
just to affirm to yourself.
yes. So,
I love this.
these, by the way, are true stories from movies. They may not necessarily be my experiences, but
Yes.
I know, but again, they're hitting close
I
to
speak
home.
for the nice guys out there.
Yeah, Nice Guys Association. We have a president in place. Yeah. So you see how the reason as to why I'm going on with this, the nice man syndrome,
Yes.
is because most of these guys have been rejected at the end.
Yes.
Why? Because they misread the signs, or even when they read the signs clearly, they gave themselves hope.
Yes.
You never know. She's not going anywhere. And I mean, she's locked in. I'm the one that is giving her the lifestyle that she has. Where would she go? Let me tell you, that girl it's very possible she's being used by 3 other men that are not giving her even a single dime.
Yes.
She goes and there is no transport money.
Yes.
And then she will even call you outside of that man's apartment and call the nice guy, I am stuck.
Please come and pick
Please
me.
come and pick me. And the nice guy will drive past midnight to come and pick the chick.
Yes.
Go with her and they will not even be intimate. And she will be saying how she was disappointed. You will even make her some porridge.
True.
Past midnight.
Boy child has suffered.
True.
Boy child has really suffered.
I know. But that is where that's, we want to, yes, you had something.
I also think that we do not take out the time to study the people that we are with, who our partners really are at the end of the day. I think we take them at face value. If you're interested in, if she fits the picture of your ideal woman, she's got the right figure, she has the right connections and all this other stuff, you try to ignore the other part, but your gut feeling is telling you that something is wrong. And then 2, like we've discussed before, we do not communicate our expectations and where we want to go and who we want to be. We assume, the man is assuming that I understand. For example, if a man has given you accommodation, he's given you a vehicle, he's taking care of your extended family and blah, 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 he's assuming that you understand that he loves you. You understand that he's laid his cards on the table. But you, on the other hand, maybe you're looking for something better. No,
indeed, you understand that he loves you,
yes,
but your heart does not love him.
Your heart does not love him. And then maybe sometimes it is like the man is aiming too high. You feel that he is this low, and you feel that you're up there.
Okay.
So he's like,
and yet he's giving you all these things.
He's giving you all these things, but you want something better. You have your ideal situation that you
now let's explain better, because Nice Guys Association must know. When a girl says, I want something better,
yes,
what do they mean? Nice guys know how to cut their hair, and they cut it anyhow.
Yes.
They go to salon and they just put their head and they cut the hair.
Yes.
Either no shape or something like that.
Yes.
And they will put on either clothes that don't fit, or they will, they're not too critical about their appearance.
Yes.
And so, but again, maybe they have the money. And if a girl indeed, because I've told so many ladies, if you love him, then make him the man that you want him to be.
Yes.
True.
Take him to the salon and tell them, I want a marine cut.
Yes.
Take him to a place and these are the suits, not the good presidential suits. With
shaking
extended
tables with
material.
Yes.
I know. Expensive drinks. It's okay, let's check these tables. So, and you're like, okay, let me, even the way he presents himself, he presents himself as too needy. Now, that one, it's very possible that you will not. They're too clingy and too needy. As in, I need you.
Yes.
I need you too much. And sometimes when you show that girl that you need them too much, that is how they take you for granted.
Yeah,
Never
but
pick your calls or show up.
Yeah, but Hilda, sometimes it's not even about showing you that they are too needy. Sometimes the nice man, or most of the time, the nice man is himself.
Exactly, of course.
He portrays the real
he does not edit.
Self. Then this other person who is manipulative and everything knows, there's a way we are conditioned to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations.
That one. I hope
We
it sinks in.
You know,
yeah,
but
we condition ourselves to such an experience, and that is why you see the bad boys have lots of girlfriends, and then the nice men are boring
But again, do you know that most nice men have changed to being bad boys?
because they're disillusioned. At the end of the day, they've been through betrayal.
Of course.
yeah, they've been made to believe
heart,
that
yes.
to get to your end destination, you need to be a bad boy.
And
Exactly.
it applies in all areas
But
of
you
life
see,
now.
I'll tell you this. I think it's even a common saying that women always try to get what they can't get, to have what they can't get. Also, it is said when we were in our conference on 14th Feb that
What? The Nice Guys Conference, the Stingy Men Association, please clarify. because there are many of
Anti-Valentine's
them.
Association. So
Anti-Valentine's.
there is also the element that women do not know what they want.
Wow.
They might say that men don't know what they want.
But themselves, they have
Trust
that
me,
confusion.
we do know what we want. But you see, like a female or a woman will have this guy who does everything and whatever. At some point, she'll say, guy, I think it's a bit too much for me. He cares for me too much.
cares
And you're like,
Like, what do
okay,
you
isn't that
want?
what you would want in life?
I know.
And then when you get another guy who is jumping all over the place,
Then you run
he
after
doesn't
them.
call you, he doesn't respond to your messages. You're like, Banange, what happened to men?
Him, eh.
You get it. So it's a very interesting conundrum. And someone one time said that they were writing a book about women, and they are still writing. It has
And it will
I don't know how
never
many
end until
pages.
the end of the world.
And
if you want to know
we
a woman,
continue to learn.
Amanya, you should never seek to know a woman.
I watched a
Save yourself.
Nigerian movie where Zach Oji said that ever since God created women, he has not rested.
Yeah, that is true.
And I saw Zach when he was in Uganda, and I said, you are the one who made that statement. And he laughed all the way through because it is kind of true at the end of that day. But still, I think this takes us back to communication. Because we do not communicate what we want. Like you said, you prefer a guy with a marine cut. The good guy will just go and cut his hair, and that's it. He will not do a marine cut because he doesn't think that it is what you would want. But because we do not communicate at the end of the day what our expectations
Like
are.
the girl to
The guy
communicate.
is not communicating because this guy is giving you everything that you want. But actually, he does not even know that what you want is for him to open the door for you. A more romantic partner. You want somebody who's going to open and close the door. You want somebody who's going to call you
A
up.
nice guy can do those things.
No, not every nice guy
Or
does that.
some of them don't know.
Some of them don't know.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, because
But
we
if
are
you
not
tell them, they'll be
communicating-
quick to learn.
Yes,
Yeah,
they'll be
of
quick.
course.
But the challenge is that we want to assume that they should know.
Do you know that most girls, they feel like, I don't want to tell you what to do for me. Think about it yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you should be able to know. Why? Because other guys maybe know how to
don't
do it.
tell
They
them
have
what to
told-
do.
They don't tell them what to do. So they feel like, it's not my business. But again, it's only understanding ladies
Yes.
that will get to a place and say, if I get a nice man, this is a man for me
To hold
so
on
I
to.
can mold him into what I want.
Yes.
And I can be able to have a good home because good men, nice men are very good fathers,
Very true.
very good husbands,
Very true.
very good confidence,
Very true.
and very faithful. Unless you have been, they have been triggered to turn the other way around because you do not want to see a nice man turned bad.
Oh,
Do you want
They
to just
become like a
Bad
hen,
boy.
a headless hen.
the first statement you said there, Hilda, a nice man is this. Do you want to just talk to me directly?
Yeah, I'm looking at you. I'm
so,
looking at
you're
you.
protesting too much.
So no,
a nice man
I
after
want
all.
to bring a perspective here that might sound a bit contradictory. The time that we are living in has massively changed. We are exposed to a lot of things at a very young age. Back in the day with our parents, a girl would grow up, study, go to school, study. She would probably even be a virgin until marriage. And they would probably even set her up, whether he's a nice guy, a bad guy, or whatever.
Anyone.
They say gwe ojagala ne muwala wa gundi.
No proposal.
And that is it.
No proposal.
You go and you make a home. You kugumira the mbera that is there. Whatever happens, you stick in there. But now, the internet has given us information
And we are
that
spoiled for
it's
choice.
not such a bad idea to have a couple of people that are seeing you or that you're seeing. Our parents or us parents have made them believe that just keep it safe. It's not such a bad idea. Explore until you find the right guy. Yeah? And that is actually a very interesting statement that people say, oh, parents. Even us as friends, we advise our people that, you know what, take your time. You'll get the right
Take your
one.
time doing what?
In the taking your time, looking around, of course, there are things that are happening. Some of them are happening the same time as this one's happenings or the other one's happenings. So you find a lady has options.
Yeah.
And she thinks to herself, and you know, some of those things you're saying that maybe she wants, like you are saying, she didn't have to advise this guy to
Most
be
of
like
them
this,
don't want to.
because there's a certain person here
That is already.
who is vibing her, that is doing exactly what she wants. But because this one came first, out of respect, she's like,
She hangs around.
let me wait for him to do something wrong and then
Then I go.
I go this side.
Just imagine.
So times
And that's
have
where
changed.
The proposal is there something wrong that you do.
Yes.
Perhaps. So times have changed so much and we are in trouble. I think the boy child now has to also up his game and
Yeah,
I don't know, not care or, you know, or go to the
No,
village
no, no,
and
no,
look for a nakawunde or something.
No, we don't want to agree with no.
Because it looks like a nice lady should not be there.
No.
And we
Amanya.
appreciate
That
that
is why we're talking
times
about
have changed.
this, so that they can be sensitive enough to read the signs and then do not give excuses. When you see the sign, if your gut feeling is telling you something, run for your life or take a few steps back.
Yes.
Don't fight for love that is not yours.
Yes.
That is not freely given, that has conditions to it. Because then what happens in marriage? If this is happening in relationships, then what about in marriage?
Yes.
When a girl tells you, just, you know, I think I'm planning for a proposal, and then the girl is like, just buy the ring and give it to me. And then you buy the ring, you give it to her. I've seen those things happening. You buy the ring and she does not even put it on.
Negwe,
Or she
omanyi-
puts it on when she's coming to see
Omanyi
you.
omuntu okuli obwongo in that even if she tells you that is my uncle
People
or
have
that
done
is
those
my
things.
cousin
People have done those
and
things.
they are hugging a certain way that cousins don't hug,
They can even pay.
you're like, maybe they are close. They are close cousins. They grew up together. You find all sorts of excuses
We should
because
find a day and just dissect the good man, nice man syndrome. Just dissect that.
But you know
because
what?
they are dying, they are becoming endangered
yes.
species.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but you know what, Hilda? There is a way a woman will always show you what is going on. There are hints that are
They
thrown.
will give you,
Yeah, because you know, I would like to believe that every woman would like to have a nice man.
Yeah.
But the challenge is that those things that he's not doing the way you want them to be done, they are usually small hints that you give. They may be subtle or they may be blunt, but they're usually small hints. But the challenge is that men do not read beyond the surface. They just look at they say, take everything at face value, and that's it. So at the end of the day, you're going
They
to be
end
let
up
down.
proposing and being rejected.
There are things that she will say. I mean, if you study your partner, you will know this is not a person who is interested in public displays. But you feel that you want to make it public. And then also, originality is not there anymore. You all want to go down on your knee.
In a restaurant
in
somewhere.
a restaurant, you understand? You want to call your friends. Why don't
And then you want to plan it with her best friend.
with her best friend?
And
who
someone,
might even
I
be
don't want to
interested
say
in the
this,
man.
but I
Bestie
heard
might
someone
even-
saying that the best friend, that
The
they
best
call
friend.
them coordinators.
Yes.
That the coordinators are usually, oh God, I don't want to say
part of the
it.
rejection plan.
No, not part of the rejection plan,
They're
but
part of
the
the
loose
pro-
ones in the group.
Yes,
like
like part of that problem at the end of the day.
Sometimes.
No, but also the men need some originality. I watched a movie one time where somebody gave his whatever girlfriend an apple. She bit into the apple and something was choking. Only to realize it was a ring. You understand? Another one, he put it in a glass. So she goes out with him, and then he's like, but you usually go and powder yourself. So she goes away and comes back.
Puts it in a glass of a drink. That
Yes,
drink.
and he has put it in the drink. So as she was like, what's going on?
this?
And there's a ring underneath. But young people want to do it all the time. And that's why I'm saying that we do not study who our partners are. And we do not communicate what we want. The nice man is there, he's giving you everything, but sometimes he's boring you. You understand? Sometimes he's maybe too quiet for your liking. Sometimes maybe he's too loving for your liking.
Hey.
Sometimes he is...
How is that even possible?
Woman.
No, it is
I thought that is
possible.
what the women are all striving for.
Why does it seem like he is too loving? Like we've said, you've been disillusioned before. So when something looks too good to be true, you start questioning and fearing and say, but is this really what this person is? So we need to read those signs.
Rita is really speaking on behalf of the women. And she's giving us all the vibes of a confused woman who doesn't know what she wants. But I'm glad we're having this conversation, and I know that so many people will start being careful. You know, when you've had something and maybe someone has hinted on being sensitive, you can be able to redeem yourself the last minute. Just when you're about to buy that ring of 5 million, and then you're like, wait a minute. Okay, this and this has been happening. Is this can I get help? Because sometimes a person, maybe you're not going to trust yourself enough, but you can get help. When you talk to another person, it will be in glass, like very vivid. They'll be like, no, don't waste your time. Or hold on a bit. If this and this does not go the way you want, then it was never meant to happen. So sometimes I know that we trust ourselves so much, but sometimes we need to find the help that we need, and so many things that we need to do. But proposals, whenever you think about proposing or someone is thinking about proposing to you, you should be able to, number one, respect humanity. Respect that person, that by the time they came with a ring, they've thought about it, they planned about it. Okay, I'm not saying that say yes because there's a time someone said say yes, and then you go back and reject and say, you know, so that this person is not rejected publicly. You can always find neutral ways of neutralizing this situation without causing, you know, harm, and without, you know, putting it everywhere and having it go viral. So we're still talking about this, and in the last segment we're going to talk about more of the solutions. How do we go about this? How do we take a step back? How do we get the help? And then how do we redeem ourselves from the rejections that are happening? And people that have even tried to commit suicide because they've been rejected. A lot is happening behind the scenes, and we don't want to go down the drain.
Spirit TV, a place for you.
Okay, so I want us to get this straight. Proposals are good. They are sweet, if done well. And if you are doing it for the right person. Do you know the excitement that you see? It is so satisfying to a man when you're proposing to someone and they're as excited, you know, even more excited than what you thought. They're like, they're giggling, they're chuckling, they're, you know, jumping around to show everyone the ring. And you actually have a good foundation for that that relationship. And you know it very well that this proposal is actually the start of the officiating process.
Yes.
Because that is what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
You're not supposed to give a ring because, you know what, let me just give a ring. You're supposed to give a ring because you are starting the officiating business. That, you know, the next thing is introduction, or visiting, introduction, and then marriage. So we are on this journey, and that is how it should be. But so many people use it as in, let me give it to you so that I can own you, so that you don't go around with other people. And then they will take 8 years. Minus anything. Nothing is happening, but they gave you a ring, and because of that ring, then you should be there just waiting for them. And I know that we've talked so much on the side of the good guy, the nice guy, which I really felt was necessary because they are really suffering. But I want us to look at this girl as well that is making a decision because she has the final yes or no. And she should be able to play this card in a way that serves her, protecting herself.
Yes.
This should be something that she wants to come into, that she wants to say yes to.
Yes.
But there are so many times where the guy is actually not the right guy.
Yes.
For example, the guy has been ghosting her off and on. The guy has been multiple cheating, having other girls. And but all of a sudden, because the girl is at the verge of leaving this relationship, the guy is popping the ring. So this girl is only evaluating because she has had prior thoughts about this, and now you have brought this, you have cornered her. You're thinking now we are in public, she can't say no, and then she's like, you know what, I am deliberately selfish. I will choose myself any day, anytime. I will not be stuck in a bad relationship because you have popped a ring. A ring is nothing.
Yes.
The way you bring it out now makes me feel sorry for the girl child. Because
So you see,
there are circumstances
flipping the
like that
charts.
indeed. There are circumstances like that indeed. And in that case, that means that this girl is trying to do the right thing.
Yes, even when it's hard.
Yes, not out of I have options, but out of this person I am with might not be
The right person.
the right person.
And even when I love, most of those girls will turn down a ring, but they are totally in love with this person.
Yes. Yes.
But they know that even when I love this person, he's not good for me.
Yeah, because
They'll even go back and
Some
cry.
are toxic, perhaps.
very true. Because one, it might be a toxic relationship. Maybe this relationship she's in an abusive relationship, and then sometimes there is lack of trust in that particular relationship. Why? Sometimes it's financial security. We are not talking about millionaires and billionaires, but we are talking about men who are focused. We are talking about men who show you where they want to go.
Yes.
They have plans for the future.
ambition.
For the
Yes.
future, they have a mission. They may not have money there and then, but you can tell from the way they talk, the way they act, that they have somewhere to go. They have a vision. They
Instead
want
of
to go
just being
somewhere.
lazy
So now,
and waiting.
yes, you can stay with such a man. But now, if you're with a man who doesn't even know where he is going, because if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up anywhere.
Who are you going to lead? Because a man is supposed to lead, a woman
He's
is
the head
supposed
of
to
the
follow.
family. That is what the scripture says.
Are we
And
now
that is
talking
his
about the bad
position.
boys?
Sorry?
Are we now talking about the
No,
bad boys?
the real image of
The real
of
image,
that is not
yes.
tilted to bad or good, but the real image of a
Yes,
man.
there is no
Because the
financial
description,
security.
the description is kind of sounding
Of a
like
bad
the
boy.
bad boys.
No, some bad boys don't like working.
Who may not
No.
necessarily care about what tomorrow looks like, who will get who they are
No,
getting and
that's-
stuff like
No,
Some
it
that.
is
of them
not a
do
bad
that.
boy. It's not a bad boy. It's a good boy who doesn't have a sense of direction. He may need help. There's no financial security. Now, this particular lady may have tried to help this young man, show him direction, try to push him, but maybe he's a mommy's boy who doesn't want to work.
Rich, half the time, the mommy's boys end up being the bad boys. Actually, they are usually the bad boys. The good guys are hustlers.
Yeah,
A
because
good guy will put
they
on a
want to.
chisati, a very bad shirt, a very bad, but will go carry things, will go, because they know I have to work in order to provide for
someone happy.
someone, to make someone happy.
True.
So good boys will always go out of there where they will work under the rain, they will work in heavy sun, they will do everything in their power if they are naturally wired to be good boys.
You know, recently I was at Skies. We were there with a couple of friends. I think it was a birthday celebration. So next to us, there happened to be some guys organizing for a proposal. Okay, for what turned out to be a proposal. I
Like,
stayed in
where
that
is this
place
going?
extra longer for me to
just to see.
confirm what happens. So they did the deco. We imagined one of the guys that was there was probably the would-be proposer. He turned out to be a friend of the guy. Actually, he was the one who went.
coordinator.
He's the one who went to pick the girl, the coordinator. So time passed and guys gathered. I think it was her birthday as well. So she probably didn't suspect it was a proposal at the same time. The cowboy Bambi looked like a good boy, to be honest. A jacket, a haircut, looking humble. By the time she walked in, he was already on his knee.
No.
I waited to see, because I don't think I've seen a rejection
Before.
personally, face to face.
Don't
We
tell
see
us
them
it
on
was a
social media.
rejection.
So wait for it. So I go ahead and we watch the girl come in. She looked like
Shut
a
up.
bit higher than this guy's grade or something like that.
Something.
So she came around. She was greeting the people who were there and whatever.
This one was on his knees.
Yes, there were lights, so his kakona was not so.
Well,
the lights were on. These are the guests. So I chatted with the person I was with. I was like, this guy is in trouble. But it looks like Bambi, she hadn't yet seen
the guy
on his knee. So when she finished the line of people greeting them and all, and she got to the front, found someone on his knees, she started, these things, guys, oh my God. And, you know, I think at that point he said some words. The guy with the guitar serenaded them and they sang a love song. And I think she said yes because they hugged afterwards and they made merry. So the question is, if she wasn't willing to go through with that, how was she going to tell it to him? After all that preparation and all those nice things he had done, would she have just walked back out and say, I'm not ready?
Now, that one takes a lot of braveness and a lot of boldness for a girl to do that. But if a girl is well brought up, even when he doesn't see a future or she doesn't like you, most of the times either she will pull you up. She will not wait for that moment where she's on spot to say yes for everyone to hear. So maybe she will pull you out, maybe she will hug you, she will pretend like she's so, you know.
And maybe whisper in your ear.
Maybe whisper in your ear, we can do this later. And maybe no one will notice it. And she will save your image.
Yes.
Without saying yes or without saying no. But she will save your image. But again, there are some guys who do not take that. They will still want to put you on spot so that you can say yes or no.
Even
I have seen guys
the
who have done
committee
that.
wants to hear you saying yes.
Even the committee. So because most of them will be, did she say yes? Did she say yes? Ask again. And all of a sudden you're on spot.
Yes.
Now, any girl, I've seen girls that have compromised and said yes. And then they have gone through with, merrymaking, but still you would see there's something off. Either, they don't come to this person, they're hanging out with another person and all that. And before you know it, another person is driving her home. And then after that, 1 or 2 days, you hear that, by the way, the relationship ended that night. Most of the times, it's the end of the relationship. Because then one person feels like, you ashamed me, especially if the girl does not love you. She feels like you ashamed me among all my friends. Why would you sneak up on me like that? And so if it's a guy that is that has been rejected, he feels I put in so much to pull this off, and all of a sudden it has not been fruitful. Okay, so I want us to be able to number one, talk to the nice guys, give them a bit of tips. Okay, especially in being sensitive and reading the red flags, but again, not turning the red flags into green. Because in their minds,
Yes.
not turning the red flags, and you're saying, I'm seeing red, but isn't that green? I think the corner is green. And all of a sudden, so how do we go about that? And also talk to the ladies that have dated the bad men or the narcissistic men or toxic, or just there's something that is not right in that relationship. How do you save yourself, or how do you go about it?
So, I think I have like 2 or 3 tips.
In hindsight, with experience.
Not necessarily, but
no, you've seen
I have
right now,
come
like
to
you watched
appreciate
that
them.
one. Yes.
I've come to appreciate some of these things. So I'll jump to the last one, which is avoid doing a proposal in public if you cannot handle the outcome.
Yes.
If it has to be public, like a restaurant, because of course it's weird to do it in the bedroom or in your sitting room at home. You probably want to take her in a fancy place so that even how the mood is accelerated, yeah?
Kale, but the two of you, just the two of you.
Yes, go to a restaurant, find a fancy one at that if you want. Where possible, one with few or no people. Or maybe go in a corner where if there's a rejection,
I can disappear here.
I'll be as if I was joking.
I have an exit.
There's that option as well.
Yes.
Just want to feed them, feed him.
No.
Oh yes.
The film star.
Just want to feed them, feed him.
This one is a Van Damme.
So avoid doing it in public. Nowadays, everything is
It's public. There is always
Everything
someone
is
with a
public.
phone somewhere on a
Yes,
corner.
And you don't even know how quickly they pull them out.
Oh my God, very swift.
So avoid doing it in public, unless if you're ready for the outcome in public as well. Otherwise, the outcome could come the same way when you're in private, but you know, it will be a little easier.
To handle.
The owls will be less, they'll be less.
From a distance.
Say yes. Those ones will not be there. Then I'll talk about the dating element. I like to tell people that pray very hard that when you're dating someone, you get an experience with her or with him. I know for a fact that money is a life changer and it changes a lot of things and it can mask a lot of things. You will date someone for 6 months. This is the life. I'm ready. Or someone can have consistent loans or something for 3 years.
I know.
And life is good. You don't even quarrel because you ask for anything, he gives you. You want to do this, when you're annoyed, he takes you for a trip. When you know,
So you
good
think
life.
is good.
So you're like, all is well. So what I mean by experience is that to get a feel of the good and the
ups
bad,
and downs,
having no money, maybe having no job, God forbid, having money, having
like,
maybe
like Paul said in the Bible, I've known how to live in scarcity, I've
Yes.
known how to live in
abundance.
plenty.
there you go. So pray for that 360 experience. Maybe you fall sick and see if she'll come through,
To take care of
or
you.
he falls sick or whatever. Maybe you get some
Something
issues
that
at home.
necessitates for someone to go an extra mile.
Yes.
Yes.
Now that experience may not happen in 6 months because you can't predict that you will become rich, become broke, become there, you lose your job, you
Sick, what,
all in
in
the
those
6
6
months.
months, no.
So it normally takes some time. And I'll tell you from my personal experience, when I was younger, I prayed to God for my life to be that I study, I get a job,
You marry?
get a girlfriend, date for 3 years. I was particular.
You're very, very particular with
I was
time.
like 3 years, and then we get married, have children. Interestingly, I wasn't doing it intentionally, but my wife that I got married to, we actually dated for 3 years
Wow.
before getting married. They also say in the Bible that confession is possession.
It is. Most times we manifest what we
This
think
tongue,
about and what we
this
plan.
tongue of ours is very powerful. So
That's true.
you can speak about it. But
And 3 years
Pray
is
hard.
good time to
Yes.
know, to have the experience.
so pray hard for you to experience, have a 360 experience.
Yeah.
When you're with your guy and you've only seen him happy, there's
There's
a problem.
yeah.
Because some people, when they are angry, you cross their path, they even kick you.
Yeah.
But you need to know, this guy that I love so much, or that says loves me so much, when he's angry, can he still give me a lift to office? Or if this guy gets a lot of money, will he still come back home early?
I know.
Or he'll be on the weekend out of the country without telling me, or I'll no longer be able to reach him, and stuff like that. And then, lastly, though not many people like to hear it,
Give it to us.
I think it's important to have an element of God.
I don't know. Not many people need to know it. That to like
People
it.
don't necessarily like it because sometimes dating relationships, they don't relate them to God because you know, you're saying sweet nothing, sometimes you're lying to someone. So God is important in these things, and if you put him there, I'm sure it will
He'll
take out
help
some
you.
of
He'll
these
save you some
challenges.
of these things.
But that 360 experience, I call it
very
360
important.
experience, it is good because you will get to know the person in his good, bad, normal, somehow normal times and all those kind of experiences.
So by the time you say I do,
Yes. And you see,
you know this
and
person.
that kind of person who you experience that arrangement with, the proposal will come as a by the way. Because at a certain point in time, you'll even, because you probably go and visit your parents together, you go to hers, he comes to
like
yours.
you've already settled into this.
And it will be just a matter of, but I think by the way we should, I'm thinking of next year, November 12th. What do you think? You haven't yet proposed.
True.
And then you just formalize it later on,
That's
say
true.
on her birthday or another special
She'll even
day.
prepared. She has her
And
clothes. She has
Most
her
likely
makeup.
she'll have no reason to say no. And But also, I had said lastly, abasajja tuyige grade. Oba tumanye grade.
Your status.
Yes, as in, it is a good thing to want a flashy lady. I mean, everyone looks at, say,
Wow.
what, Beyonce? And you're like, wow, I want a Beyonce. The question though is she,
In your...
can you manage? They come with their expectations.
I know.
Like Rita was saying, they come with their expectations, their lifestyles. Can you manage that lifestyle?
Then they say you're too good
And
for
then
me.
I have examples of people who used to be the guys who used to cut their hair all looking nice and flashy and all. They were not necessarily from rich families. And, you know, you would think, this guy, in future, I think he'll end up with a car.
Very
a solid bad, like a nice, you know, like these slay queens. Later in life, you get to see the person that he ends up with,
And what's the description?
you're like, I wouldn't have imagined this one for him. Yeah. So at the end of the
But
day,
did you get to know why?
he got down to his. It's because that was
reality.
his level. That was his grade.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we need to also appreciate
where
who we are and who we can manage to be with.
Wow. Over to you, Rita.
In addition to what he has said, I think that we should also be able to, first of all, endeavor to be ourselves in a relationship. Let us try not to let it become like we are showcasing something that we are not really. Because at the end of the day, you cannot pretend forever. One more or another, you'll be able to show your financial situation, you'll be able to show your actual mannerisms or behavior or character, and then you will start having issues. Then two, we should endeavor not to try to change the other person. We either accept them for who they are or we go out
Of the relationship.
And then three, I think we should not compromise on our principles and our
values.
priorities and values. Yes, despite that person being having some ideal qualities, it's not good for you to settle for less because you cannot imagine that you will not get another person. Because you might think, there's a lady, I want to give an example. There's a lady friend of mine, I'll not say her name. She's my size and everything, but she got married to a very short man. I have no disrespect for short men, but that is the way God created those particular beings. She got married to a very short man like this. But at the end of the day, she used to go out with these six-pack guys, tall ones, Americanite and everything. And then she ended up with this very short man. But you know what? He treats her like a queen.
Wow.
She came to understand in her heart that what she wanted was not what she needed. You understand?
Those are two things that people
Those are two
usually
things,
don't have.
yes.
Yeah.
So she got married to this man. She lives like a queen. He treats her well. Her family is happy. By the way, she has everything. And at the end of the day, she says, I do not even miss the other guys anymore because she got to understand that I think this is what I need, despite this person not having all the other things that I'm looking for. So when we're looking at our ideal picture, let us look at other things that are outside what we cannot change.
The American Heights.
Yes, the American Heights.
Yeah.
Let us look at what we can live with, though we should not compromise. I wouldn't want for someone to go in with somebody who doesn't know God. I'm not against atheists, but try to be in a relationship where your values are similar. They're not
respected,
yes, they may not be exact, but the values should be a little bit similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also finally, I think that for a relationship to stand, it should be much based more on friendship than chemistry and the beauty
Love
and all
and
the other
what,
things. Let us start with friendship.
That's how they friend zone you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how
They friend zone you and you fail to get out of
nice
it.
guys fear friendship because half the time they are being put into the friendship
friendship
basket,
zone. Okay.
and
You end up
they
running
will
errands.
do everything in the name of love.
Yes.
While the other girl will do everything. Sometimes the guy will even say, "I love you," and the guy will say, "I like you."
Yeah, no, but
There's even thank you.
No, here's the
There's
Yeah, even a
saying
thank you.
here's
He has
the
been
way I
friend
talk
zoned.
about friendship. I am not saying that the love should not be there, because a friend is someone you can talk to, caution, criticize on or critique, and they will
Yes.
not be upset.
And
But
you
if-
trust that they are not going to change.
yes, but
They're
if you
going
don't
to
have
your
that
back.
within your relationship,
It becomes
you're
very
likely
hard.
to end in a bad way.
That's very true. Only that the good guys fear the friendship bit of it. And I mean, so many things that we have talked about here. I hope that you can pick one or two things. And if you are a girl that is being proposed to by someone, and I've said this, even when you get to church, you've put on your gown and you're before the priest, and the priest says, do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband? And you still have, even if it's a half or a quarter of a question mark, walk away. It's better to break a relationship than to break a marriage. Okay? Because when you get into a marriage, it burns you. If you want to get out, everyone will be like, she failed at her marriage, especially for the ladies. No one says a man failed at her marriage. No. In Africa, it's always ladies. She failed at her marriage, even when she was running for her dear life. So it's better for someone to say she failed, or she failed in a relationship, than to say that a marriage burnt you and then you're stuck in there and you were unhappy for the rest of your life. Let's not cover up. Let's not interpret or make these red flags green or make them blue. No. Call a spade and be very truthful. First to yourself and then to the person that is next to you. But for the proposals, make sure that you try and do something that is within your means, and then know the other party. You can know a person who is going to say yes or no. Okay, but sometimes we just want to hit a stone into a bush and see what comes out. Don't do that. You'll humiliate yourself, and rejection is very painful. Some of you have been depressed, and if you need help, please seek help. It's never too late to seek help. We love you, and we hope that you can have a great time. So hook in with Rock Telecom. They will be able to, it's your plug for internet services, organizational, personal, individual, what they will, at some point we'll give you the packages so that you know exactly what's in there. And then the Eternal Styling Studio. Yes, Pan Salon in Buziga. That's your go-to place. I hope that you can be able to pay them a visit and see what you can do for yourself. Okay, we love you. It's been Bahati, Amanya, and Rita. Yes.
Thank you for watching. Bahati comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9 p.m. here on Spirit TV. Bahati, bringing you knowledge, wisdom, financial and personal growth, better relationship,